Good morning everybody. So I just wanted to make a short little video of this little design. I was actually trying out the pattern, some other pattern, and you know, I sort of veered off, went and did my own thing as usual. Okay, so you know, because I want to make the video nice and short, I'm just going to explain some of it. So what you do is you work you work 6 2 times double crochets. So you know, it's going to look like that. So you've got 2 double crochets together, 2 double crochets together, so it's 12 double crochets, but you work 6 of them together. So you're going to have 6 double crochets, okay, worked into a magic ring. Okay, so you know, it's going to look like that. Alright, so 2 double crochets into a magic ring. So that's the beginning. Okay, so that's pretty simple. And then once you've done that, you're going to be working between your 2 double crochets, and you're going to work yarn over times 3, puff, okay, chain 1 to close. So you're going to work 2 of those like that. So I just wanted to show you how I do this, because you do this all in one. Okay, so you work 2 puffs into the next space. Alright, so you've done your 6 2 double crochets together. Alright, and you've fastened off, and you went and sewed in all your bits and pieces. Alright, then you're going to start between any of, you know, you're going to work between 2 of the 2 double crochets together, and you're going to start with a puff, and that's a yarn over times 3, chain 1 to close, and another puff, yarn over times 3, chain 1 to close. Then you're going to turn your work around, and you're going to work 1 2 3. So I suppose in essence it is 4, but I just say 3. Okay, chain 1 to close, and now you're working 2 puffs between the 2 puffs. Okay, still round 2, right, like that. Then you're going to turn your work back again to face you, and you're going to slip stitch between your 2 puffs that you've just made. Then you're going to chain 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6. You're going to chain 6, and you're going to slip stitch back between those 2 puffs. Then you're going to do a sort of long slip stitch, okay, into the top of that second puff. Alright, and you're going to chain 4 3 4, and then you're going to repeat. Okay, why doesn't that look like 6 puffs? What did I do wrong? Okay, so, and it is a bit finicky. Okay, yep, that's better. 1 2 3 4. Right. That looks a bit better. So it's going to look like that. Okay, so don't worry about that. That looks a little bit sort of weird at the moment, but you're going to be working over that. Okay, so then you're going to skip 2 more yarn, there we go, over there, and you're going to be working into that space. It's going to work. Okay, 1 2 3. mind you, when I'm just sitting by myself and kind of working these things, everything goes smoothly, but as soon as I try and videotape, then I get very awkward. I don't know why. Okay, chain 1 to close, and then yarn over, and 1, 2, 3, right, yarn over, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, 1, 2, 3. So I'm using a combination of yarns here. The one I'm using at the moment is the L yarn, Family Knit DK, and the color is coral. And the green is from Stylecraft Special DK. So this is really a stash buster, right? You know, you can use all your bits and pieces here. So this is Stylecraft Lime and Stylecraft Special DK. Okay, so I've turned it around, and then you're going to slip stitch back between those two puffs, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and slip stitch back between the two puffs, and then kind of do a long slip stitch over. So you won't really notice that because it'll look like it's part of the puff. Okay, so don't pull it too tight, just like that. Then you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and repeat. So what you're going to have is that going on. Alright, so I shall see you at the end of this round. So this is round number 2, and you should have 6 of these little jobbies going on, okay, with your chain 4 in between. Right, so see you in a moment. Put that like that. Okay, so I've worked my puffs and chains all the way around. Did I introduce? Yes, I decided I'm going to call this the African Summer Snowflake. You know, the thing is, us here in Africa, you know, we see everybody and their, you know, sort of pack of Christmas decorations, and in many cases, you know, glimpsing snow out of the window and that, and you know, for us who live in Africa, of course, many of us, our ancestry, of course, is, you know, European. In most cases, English, you know, British, Scottish, French, Dutch. So, you know, our roots are very firmly in Africa, but, you know, we've continued with these traditions. I mean, I am a possibly 6th generation South African, and, you know, but of course our Christmas comes at a time when, even if you take into consideration the pagan roots of Christmas, celebrating, you know, the shortest day, the longest night, and, you know, the coming of longer days, and the sunshine, and, you know, all those sort of things that represent, you know, regrowth and rebirth. Of course, in the summertime, you know, we have midsummer, so it's not even relevant, and yet we still celebrate. So this is kind of the basics of the I'm going to call it the African Summer Snowflake. Right, so those puffs and those chains, but now we're going to build on that. So I'm going to grab cream, and this is the Stylecraft Special DK cream, And now we're on to round number 3, so I'm not going to worry too much about those for the time being. So what you do is you work a chain 3 or a standing double crochet, whichever you prefer, into your chain 4 space, and then you're going to work another 2 double crochets. So you're going to have 3 double crochets, alright, and then you're going to work a double crochet front post around your 2 double crochets together. Okay, so it's going to kind of pull your work a little bit funny. It's going to, you know, your star is going to begin sort of buckling a bit, but that's perfectly fine. And then you're going to work back into that chain 4, and you're going to work another 3 double crochets like that. Okay, and now you're going to work a slip stitch between that those 2 puffs, the second 2 puffs, and you're going to work a slip stitch over. So you're working a slip stitch into that space between the 2 puffs, and then you're working a slip stitch over, and then you're going to repeat what we did on the other side. So you're going to work 3 double crochets. Excuse me if I'm so awkward in these videos, but really I don't know what's wrong with me. I get very nervous, sort of self-conscious when I'm doing the videos, you know, it doesn't really come naturally. Okay, so you're doing your double crochet front post over that, those 2 double crochets together from round number 1, and then you're just popping straight back to those chain 4s, and you're doing another, so it's basically 3 double crochets, 1 double crochet front post, 3 double crochets, you know, and then you're going to be working your slip stitch kind of over that, you know, first of the second 2 puffs, and then another slip stitch over, and then you're back again. So I think that's pretty simple. And you know, the thing is, once you get the hang of the pattern, and you know it's only 6 rounds, then it goes really quickly. You know, once you figure out, okay, this is what, you don't even have to look at the pattern then, and you just go on. So this is a join as you go pattern. So I'll show you, you know, once I've finished one and I'm starting on the next one, then I'll show you how to join, and it gets really addictive. That's all I can say. You know, once you get into it, it just goes, and it goes really quickly. You'll be surprised, like as you join, you know, how quickly it grows. And the beauty of it all is that you don't have to join these little circles. They really, the pattern that I was doing, you know, had sort of straight sides, the hexagon, but the way that I've done it, it's really circles. Okay, so you just carry on like that, and you are slip stitching round that one, slip stitching over and back again. Okay, so I'm going to stop there, because otherwise I'll just spend my whole morning chatting with you guys. Alright, so it's going to look like that. So you're going to have those, you know, it's going to fold over a little bit like that, but that's fine. And you might think that that looks still a little bit untidy, but you'll see what we're going to do in the next round. So there's a little ant coming to check out the crochet. Okay, so that. So you're just going to carry on like that, and I shall see you at the end. And this is round number 3. Okay, and to close, you're just going to slip stitch into the top of that beginning chain, like that. Me being awkward again. Alright, and it's going to look quite buckled at this point, so you're just going to slip stitch, another slip stitch, close so it's nice and tight, and I'm going to go and sew in my ends, and then we shall continue on to round number 4. Okay, so it's going to look like that, and bear in mind, you know, you don't have to carry on. You can use any part of, you know, so if you just want to stick to the central part and those sort of the, you know, the arms of the star, you can just leave it like that, because, you know, you can just do a couple of, you know, do 12 slip stitches, or like you can hang it on your Christmas tree like that, or you can do that. You can work in your ends, and then you just you know, just block it for a little bit, and it will lie nice and flat, so you can use that part as well. Anyway, so we'll go on, and I shall see you in a moment. Okay, so I've gone and worked in all my ends, and we're going to go on to round number 4. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So the way we're going to start here is to work a single crochet front post, but of course, because we're starting here, it's kind of a single, yeah, it's a it's a bit awkward. Alright, so you're going to start with a single crochet front post around your double crochet front post, and then you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and as I mentioned before, it's going to be a bit buckly, but that's normal. Then you're going to insert your hook through the loop and over those slip stitches, and you're going to work into the space. You're going to work a single crochet into the space between the two puffs, right? Then you're going to work another one like that. Okay, so you're going to work 2 single crochets between the puffs like that. Then you're going to chain 3, 4, and you're going to work a single crochet front post. Let's just get some more yarn there. I'm going to work a single crochet front post around your double crochet front post. As I say, I'm not normally this awkward when I'm just working quietly by myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 4, insert your hook through your chain 6 like that. Okay, and work over. So you're working over those 2 slip stitches, and you're working 2 single crochets into the space between the puffs. So you're working from front to back like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 4, single crochet front post. Okay, round your double crochet front post. 1, 2, 3, 4. Insert your hook, okay, through your 6 chains, over your slip stitch and into the space between your 2 puffs. And you're going to do that twice, single crochet. Okay, like that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet front post, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think you've got it by now. Okay, through the chain 6 loop, over the slip stitches, 2 single crochets. Okay, I'm just going to pull that out. Right, so it's going to look like that. So at this point it will be a little bit buckly, okay, but as we go along it's going to straighten out nicely. Right, so okay, so you just keep going like that, and I shall see you at the end of round number 4. Okay, so we're heading to the end of round number 4, and I've done my last 4 chains, and now you're going to slip stitch into your first 4 chains. You're just going to slip stitch into that. So really, technically, you should, maybe rather slip stitch into your single crochet front post and then slip stitch into your chain 4, but I'm just going to slip stitch. I'm going to bypass that and slip stitch straight into the next chain, the first, okay? So it's the next chain 4 space, but it's the first chain 4 space that you made. So this is the beginning of round number 5. You're going to chain 2, which is equal to 1 half double crochet. Then you're going to work another 3. So 1, 2. Okay, so we've got the chain, so that counts as 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to chain 1, so you'll work a chain 1 as you're going behind your 2 single crochets, alright, and then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to just skip over that, and you're going to work 4 half double crochets into your next chain 4 space. Okay, just going to yarn over, skip over that single crochet front post, right, and you're going to work another 4 half double crochets, 3, 4, chain 1 behind the single crochets, skip over the single crochets there, those 2 single crochets, and then you're going to work another 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just going to skip over that. You're not going to work a chain or anything, just going to skip right over 3 and 4. You're going to chain 1, skip over your single crochets, 2 single crochets here, and then you're going to work your next 4 half double crochets into your chain 4 space, like that. Going to skip over your single crochet front post, 2, 3, 4, and you're just going to carry on like that, okay? So it's going to look like that. So you've got your loops, it's going to be working into those loops. Okay, and you can see it's starting to lie flat, starting to flatten out. Okay, so you just carry on like that, and I shall see you at the end of this round. Okay, so to close, you're just going to slip stitch into the top of those beginning chains, those beginning 2 chains, and you're going to snip off and fasten off. So you can use, an invisible join here if you like. I'm just going to do my usual slip stitch closed. Okay, so that's how it's going to look at the moment. So our next round, which is round number 6 and the final round, we're going to be working into our chains there. So I am going to see you in a moment. Okie doke, so we are on the final round, and oh, I forgot to mention, this colour is the Starcraft Special DK Raspberry, which is in fact my favourite colour at the moment. Okay, so just in case you want to follow this colourway. So now I'm going to go back to using Lime Starcraft Special DK, and you're going to attach your new color into any of the chain 6 spaces, okay? And you're going to chain 6. So we're not going to count that slip stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're going to slip stitch back into that chain 6 space. Now you're going to work a single crochet into the 2 back posts of back loops back posts, yeah, right. Right, so you're going to do this 8 times, and you can see it's pretty easy to find those 2 back loops. Okay, there they are, like that. So you're going to do that 8 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So you're basically working over those 4, those 2 sets of 4 half double crochets. Then you're going to slip stitch into your chain 6 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, chain 6, slip stitch back into your chain 6 loop there, and the same story. You're going to be working 1 single crochet into those 2 back loops. You're going to be doing that 8 times. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is basically if you're going to be making more, because that's the whole 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because that's the point of this exercise, is the whole joining, then you're going to complete your first one entirely. But when we do the second one, when you get to round number 6, you'll do 3, and then you'll be connecting. So I'll just show you. This is a slightly different pattern, so don't worry too much about the center. But you'll be joining them here. So you'll kind of be working 3 and then joining like that. So using the next 3 to join, and so on. But you start off with one that's made completely, where round number 6 is made completely. And then once you've formed your first square, your square of rounds, then I'll show you how to do that. That's really simple, because you're working, you've got 4 single crochets, 4 single crochets. You're working a treble, 3 trebles together, and then you just pop over. You work 3 trebles together, 3 trebles together, 3 trebles together, and then you just join them in the middle like that. So it's pretty easy. Okay, so just so you know where we're going with this. Okay, so you continue, you're working 8 single crochets between your chain 6s, and then you slip stitching into your next chain 6, and slip stitch back, and then carry on with your 8 single crochets into those back loops. Okay, and then I shall see you then. So I'll see you at the end of this round, and I'll see you at the end of this round. Okay, so we are at the joining part, and what I've done is, so what you do is you reach your round number 5. So I'm using the same colorway, but I've just mixed the colors up a bit. Okay, so what you're going to do is what we want to do, Alright, so I'm getting a bit confused here, but what I want to show you is, you know, there are different types of patterns that you can create. You know, you might want to join them so that they're next to one another, you know, so you would be joining there and there and there, and then, you know, your next one you would, you know, so you would have sort of three chains joining in that area, and you'd have 3 chains joining here, and so on, you know, and then basically your rounds, if we can call them rounds, your circles will be joined together like that. So they'll be joined together like that, okay? But the way that I'm doing them, and then of course when you join it like that, then you don't have that gap in the middle. All right, so, you know, I wanted to show you with this one, I've joined them this way. So I've joined them like that so that it makes a square, you know, and I'll just keep on joining them like that and then filling in the gaps. And of course the reason I want to do that is because you can use a different color to do this part. You know, you could do that in white, for example. You know, you can pick up a color from one of the other colors, you know, and use it for your middle part. So, you know, it just adds a bit more interest. So that's the way, you know, I'm doing it. Okay, maybe I'm over explaining myself. So that's the way I'm going to show you. So what you'll do is you'll start, and because we're only going to be joining 2 of the chains together, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're going to be working your round number 6 as you would normally, but you'll leave 2 chains and a joining space, you know, the space, the bridge between the 2 chains. You'll be leaving that open. So I'll see you at that point. So carry on and work 4 of your chains and the sides in between. Okay, and before you work into your 5th one, just stop there. Okay, so now we are on to, you know, this little tricky part here, and the way I've done it is, so because I want to go through those loops, I'm just going to cut a length of my yarn. So, you know, give yourself enough. You know, don't cut a piece that's too short, because you have to work the chains, you have to work those single crochets, chains and single crochets. So I'm going to measure it for you, and I'll tell you exactly how much I used, which may be a bit much. So alright, I'm just going to measure it quickly while you're busy looking at all of that. So that is 24 inches. Okay, so we've got 24 inches, 48, 24 inches times 3, 3, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I've basically cut off, which is probably way too much. I've cut off 24 inches times 5. Okay, so you can, you know, measure that and see how, but I think it's a bit too much. I'll see what's left over and then give you the exact measurement. So what you're going to do is slip stitch into your chain 6, and then chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you're going to slip your hook through there. So this is the way I'm doing it. If you know another way of doing it, please let me know. It isn't quite so amateurish. And then what you're going to do is just pull, pull your length through like that. So as I say, I think I've cut off way too much. You probably don't need as much. Okay, and there's your, so you've worked underneath the chain 6 from your first square, and then you're going to slip stitch back into the chain 6 of your square that you're working, your working square, and then you're going to carry on 1. Okay, and you're going to be working into those back loops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then you're going to slip stitch into your next chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going to chain 6. Okay, and you're going to basically do the same. So it's going to slip that under, pull that through, right, like that, and pull your length through, like that. Okay, slip stitch back into your working chain, the chain 6 of your working square. And when I say working square, I mean the square you're working into. I mean not the square, the shape, the circle. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you're just going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3, your first chain 3, and then you're going to snip off your yarn, and you are going to have 2, 3, okay, so you're going to have kind of 4 lengths left, so you don't have to cut so much. I'd say to sort of 40, say 50 inches. Okay, 50 inches is, well, in South Africa we work with metric, but of course because I use US terms and stuff like that, I've started working in inches as well. So you're going to cut off about, okay, so I've gone and done 2 extra, and you can see I haven't done the border around that one. I've added an extra colour just to mix things up a bit, the grape from Stylecraft Special DK style, and that's going to pretty much be what we're going to do in this tutorial. So once I've joined these, and I'll show you how to do that middle bit. Okay, so same story as before, and because we're joining this so that it forms a square, let me do that again for you. So what you're going to do is you'll do the entire border, but you'll leave your last chain 6. Then you're still busy with the border there, you're going to slip stitch and then chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we just need a little piece, because we don't have much to do. We just have to do this chain 6, this joining chain 6. So I've snipped off a sort of 24-inch piece. Then we're going to slip stitch back into our working chain. So I say working chain because I mean the working piece. We're working into this piece, and then we're going Oh my gosh, I hope you saw that. My camera must have moved. My cat's been walking up and down here. Okay, so I'm not sure if you saw what I did there, so I'm just going to do it again. Right, so you slip stitch into your last chain 6 of this circle, so and then chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I've snipped off a piece as I said before, and you're just going to pull that through like that, right, and then you're going to slip stitch back into that chain 6 from your working piece, the piece that you're working on, and then we're going to do our last 8 single crochets into those 2 back loops, right, like that. So we've got 4, 5, 6, yeah, 4. Of course, this is where I did my join. So we're just going to find, oh, there it is. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you have 8 single crochets into those 2 back, right, and we are at our beginning chain 6, and you're going to do a slip stitch into your chain 6 from the piece that you're working on. Okay, so you're not going to slip stitch into those chain 6s, but into those chain 6s. Okay, so I've done just one join over there, and now we're going to join the other side. So what we're going to need here, we're going to leave 1 loop, 2 and 3. So we're going to work into only 3 of these loops. Okay, we're going to leave the other. So I've done a slip stitch into 3, 4, 5, 6. I've done a slip stitch into the chain 6, and I've worked a chain 6, and then we're going to work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as before, 5. Make sure you work into those 2 back loops. Okay, so we've got 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slip stitch into your chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it would help if my yarn wasn't getting caught up there. So, it's Monday morning. I've been away for the weekend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm struggling a bit to get into the swing of things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slip stitch into your chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slip stitch back, and now, okay, so we're going 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, working into those 2 back loops. Okay, the 2 back loops. Oopsie, I almost went into it. Okay, so same story here. Okay, we're going to slip stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now you have to cut off quite a big piece of yarn because you're going to be working quite a few bits still, not a lot. Okay, so like before, just pull that through, pull your snipped off yarn like that. Okay, slip stitch and then into your back loops again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and yeah, this is 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a little bit long-winded, isn't it? And then you see I'm getting so carried away. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and same story. Oh, sorry, I'm a little bit scattered. And this morning, Monday morning, I've got so much on the go in the house, so I keep on stopping and then going and doing something else and not giving my full attention to this. But we shall persevere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, working into those 2 back loops, okay, of the half double crochets. Slip stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Release your yarn. Okay, pull through like that. Slip stitch back. Right, and then onto your last bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then you're going to slip stitch into your previous chain 6. Okay, so as usual I snipped off just a little bit too much, but rather safe than sorry. Okay, so that's pretty much how. Okay, so I'm just going to show you this one. Okay, so you know we've done our joins there and we've done the same here. Okay, so I'm going to just sew in my my ends, and then I'm going to show you how to do the middle part. So see you then. Oh, sorry about me being so scattered this morning. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on with the line to do the center flower. So what you're going to do is you're just going to count 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to work between the 4, you know, so you have 8, 4 on each side, and then going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to chain 4, which is equal to 1 treble, and then you're going to do 2 trebles together, so that equals 1 times 3 trebles together. Okay, close. And you're just going to turn, and you're going to count 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to work another treble. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you just want to make sure that they all fall in the center there. 2, 3. Okay, chain 1 to close. Yarn over times 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same story. 1, 2. So, like I say, well, there are all sorts of things that you can do in the middle here. But, after trying all sorts of things, I just decided to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And, because also, you have to keep in mind what works best with the rest of the pattern. That little thingy going on in the center has to, in its own way, sort of match the theme of the pattern. Okay, so now we've done 4, and you're going to slip stitch into the top. It's a bit tricky. Okay, going to just slip stitch into the top there, and snip off your yarn and leave, a reasonable tail so that you can work that in. Okay, so what I did with the other one was I kind of pulled that center part together. I'm just going to flip that over. But you don't have to. You can kind of leave that small gap in the middle as well. That little gap there between your, so you can just kind of go into, like that. You can just, there we go. And you sort of leave that, you leave that little hole in the center. But if you don't want that little hole in the center, then you can, you can work to, okay, so I'm just, you can work your yarn at the back here and just close it up. So I'm just working my tail in. Okay, so make sure it's nice and secure. Snip off, work in my other tail. So I think working in your tails is pretty much an art form of its own. Not always easy, sometimes quite challenging. But I kind of like to go back and forth, and I kind of split the yarn as well, Okay, so that's your back. When you flip it over, that's your front. So those are your trebles. And like I say, you don't have to leave that little hole in the center. You can pull it all together like I did with this one. I pulled them all together. That's a bit of a neater finish, but it's, it all depends on you. So you can pull them all together, or you can leave it a bit open like that. Okay, so that's basically your 4 pieces joined, and now you just carry on. So you can work along, or you can work down, you can work in long panels, and then and you can keep on, you can sort of introduce a new color every now and again that works with your other colors, just to give it a bit more variation. It doesn't have to all be exactly the same. Okay, Okay, so that's the end of the African summer snowflake. So I shall be posting this up on my blog today, and of course it's a free pattern because the same as the shawl that I'm doing, which is going to take a bit longer because I keep on getting sidetracked and doing things like this. Because sticking to one kind of stitch, very repetitive, is definitely not my forte. But I'm giving it a shot, and I'm determined to finish my shawl, and that will also be a free pattern. So this is a free pattern, and the shawl will be a free pattern, and I might even be able to slip in another free pattern before Christmas, because of course all these free patterns are to say thank you very much for supporting me throughout the year and being so encouraging and so amazing and so sweet. And if it wasn't for all your lovely kind comments and for those of you who have worked on the patterns and who have also purchased my paid patterns, just thank you very much. So it's my little way of saying thank you, and I shall see you soon in Crochet Land with a shawl. Actually, it's not a shawl. It's actually a wrap. It's not a shawl. A shawl is a triangular shape, and this is a wrap because I tend to love my cotton pashminas, and I just like the shape of a really long oblong. So, okie dokes. Thanks for hanging around, and see you soon. Bye.